Hey everyone, for those of you who don't know, my name is Matthew Bacon. I'm a professional counsellor, and what I'm going to teach you in this video is 5 ways to identify a toxic person. This is a really important skill to learn how to do, as toxic people can have a huge role in your mood, how you see yourself, so your identity, and how you feel about yourself day to day. So whether it's a family member, a lover, a friend, we need to learn how to identify toxic people, and that can be a big part in your recovery, whether that's from depression or anxiety. So here are the 5 ways to help you identify toxic people. So the first way to identify if someone is toxic is if they are very, very judgmental. Now, one quick note which I want to mention is that judgment can be good if it's from someone who's loving and supportive and is in your corner, because that is there to guide you to make better decisions and they're looking out for you. So an example would be if a family member or someone you're really good friends with said, hey, I've got a problem with you binge drinking, 4 times a week. It doesn't seem to be helping your mood and you seem a lot more negative after you do that. That judgment is very helpful and constructive and isn't designed to push or squash you down. It's designed to lift you up and to help you make a better choice. Now, this contrasts to judgment from a toxic person where they belittle you for all the actions which you take. They make you feel worthless. If you achieve something, they put you down. This is a really bad kind of judgment. If you're getting that from people where it's judgment which isn't constructive and actually helping you in making better decisions, and all they do is just sort of judge you and make you feel bad, that is a sign that the person is toxic. So again, this contrasts someone who's a lover or a family member who's really in your corner and is all about supporting you, lifting you up and empowering you, versus judgment from someone who's toxic. So that's the first way to identify if someone may be toxic. The second way to identify a toxic person is if they are jealous of you and your accomplishments and your achievements and so on. So if you achieve something, if you accomplish something really good, if you start a new habit like running or doing some physical exercise every day, if they squash you down and say, oh, you won't be able to keep up doing that, or oh, your accomplishment wasn't that good, it was only in like the B division of a sports team as opposed to the A division, if they say those sort of comments, then that may show that they are a toxic person. And the reason that they may be jealous and say those sort of comments is that we often go to our friends, or we look at strangers or family members, whoever it is, we look at them to tell us how well we're doing in our own lives. So there's a study which shows that we'd rather live in an $80,000 home when the average price is $60,000 in the neighborhood than live in a $120,000 home when the average price in the neighborhood is $140,000. So essentially we want to feel better than other people, as that bolsters our self-esteem. So when some people, especially of course those who are toxic, if they see their friends or family members achieving and doing really good in their lives, then that can actually make them feel worse about themselves, and that's where the jealousy and those negative comments come in. So if someone is being really jealous towards you, that's a sign that they're a toxic person. The third way to identify a toxic person is if they believe in you or not. So toxic people generally do not believe in you. Now, it's really important to have self-esteem drawn from within. As the more strong you are in yourself, the more you believe in yourself, and the more you are firm in who you are, what you're about, and what you're capable of, that's when you'll be the most likely to reach your goals. However, it's also really good to have a good positive team around you, a supportive team, whether that's made of your family, your friends, anyone else. It's really important to have people in your corners when you do make mistakes, maybe when you don't get to your goal when you wanted to, and not in the manner which you want to get there. When these things happen, it's so good to have people in your corner who be supportive and say, look, I know you can get there, you just have to push a little bit harder, or you need to make a tweak here or a tweak there, and you will get to your goal. This contrasts someone who's toxic, who's going to push you down the whole way, and there's going to be that resistance of you getting towards the top, and it'll make your journey a lot slower, and it may even make you want to give up and go back to where you were before. So be aware, toxic people really don't believe in you, and that can have a big impact on whether you reach your goals or not. The fourth way to identify a toxic person is someone who brings out the worst in you. So a good example of this is someone who wants to stop binge drinking on weekends. So this may be a decision you make because you notice that your mood's a lot lower the next day, you're a lot more groggy, let's say on Monday, Tuesday, it takes you a bit longer to get into the week and so on. If you decide to stop binge drinking, you don't want to hang out with people who bring out that bad side of you, that temptation. So let's give an example. They go out on the weekend and they have a group of friends, and the whole friends are saying, oh, come on, have a drink, join us. It's really important you join us, don't you want to be one of us, and they keep putting a shot in front of you. That is the kind of person which you probably don't want to hang out with. If you made a really conscious decision to stop binge drinking and you've told them it's really important for your personal growth and your development and your mood, whatever it is, and you've let them know that and they still do it, that can be very toxic. Now, this contrasts to, let's say, a group of friends who still keep binge drinking, the action is the exact same on their ends, and this person goes out with them, but they're not forcing the shots down his throat. They're not forcing him to have a lot of drinks and call him a pussy if he doesn't do it and they don't join in. They're not the toxic people. They're just like, hey, we respect what you're doing. It's a good thing. It sounds like it may be good for you, but we're going to keep doing our thing as well. That's being respectful of each other's choices. Now, you may want to switch towards not even being around people who are binge drinking in the first place to get rid of that temptation too. But there's still a huge difference between those sort of friends who are saying, have a shot, join us, join us, join us, and the others who are like, hey, you do your thing, we'll do ours. We're still going to enjoy hanging out with each other, but we're just going to be doing different things. So that's another way to identify a toxic person. And the fifth way to identify a toxic person is someone who takes their anger out on you if things go wrong in their own lives. This is a really, really toxic person that can have a huge negative impact on your mood because let's say there's something going wrong in their own lives, then they take all their anger out on you and make you their scapegoat. Then they're taking it all on you, externalizing it, pushing it on you when you've done nothing wrong, and you may internalize yourself as a problem and make your personality go within and make you feel really unconfident and small and belittled. This is a really, really important one to note because it's especially important for those who have low self-esteem and those as well who are non-confrontational, because the non-confrontational person's solution to this is just to sort of keep quiet and hopefully they'll get over it. So the person who is confrontational and who puts all their anger out on you doesn't have any boundaries and they're going to keep putting it on you because they've learned that that's just a way, which is a way of getting rid of the tension and getting rid of all that anger within them. That's their solution. And if you're non-confrontational, your solution is to keep quiet, which just fuels their anger. So in general, this can be really toxic for anyone, but it's something you really want to avoid. You want to get away from this negative person who's toxic and causing this really, really making you feel really, really small within yourself. And this is I'm really emphasizing this one because it's a very, very toxic situation to be in, and I've seen a lot of people affected by it. So there you have it, the 5 ways to identify a toxic person. And one more quick way, which I'll add now, is someone who is trying to change you from who you are to who they want you to be. So I've sort of briefly touched on this earlier in the video, but if someone is trying to change certain parts of yourself and being manipulative and not accepting certain things which are core to who you are, and they're trying to switch it more towards them, then they're being manipulative, they may be narcissistic, and that's dragging you away from yourself, making you have lower self-esteem than who you really are, and pushing you more towards their area and making you feel a lot smaller as a person as you're learning from their actions that who you are is not enough and you have to change yourself to be accepted. But anyway, thanks very much for watching this video, and I'll be sure to see you in the next one.